moving on, as South Africa moved into stage 1 load shedding today, we are joined by Ellies CEO Wayne Samson, whose company sells generators, and he's here to discuss its latest restructuring update. Wayne, thank you so much for making the time to join us. Of course, you are now confirming that the company is going ahead with its debt restructuring, and you've also made mention of a corporate restructuring. Bring the two together for us and help us understand, how does your corporate restructuring alleviate the debt pressure that the company is facing?
Evening. Yeah, so the debt restructuring, we have spoken about that we're in the process of it. We've been in negotiations with Standard Bank, and we have now concluded term sheets with Standard Bank. What the debt restructuring basically does is you have two quite diverse businesses within the Ellies Pty Limited. You had the Ellies consumer business, and you had Megatron, which is an electrical infrastructure business. Megatron at the stage was a subsidiary of Ellies Pty Limited, so we are funding both infrastructure and consumer with consumer debt facilities. With the restructuring now, we'll be able to put the correct debt structure behind each business. So the infrastructure business could have more of contract debt behind it, and on the consumer business have the debt restructured according to what its requirements are. So the debt restructuring will help facilitate and help both businesses grow as it should.
Wayne, you've talked about the loss being bigger than it was, but you've had some hard times with the regulators in terms of the set-top technology, and with Eskom, with what you were hoping to roll out with the light bulb. So a few things have come together to make life tough for you in this recent period.
Yeah, in the last year or so, we've faced really the perfect storm, where we had RMR projects cancelled, etc., the delay in the DTT, and some other projects. But, we've got to put that behind us. Part of what we showed in the loss is obviously stock impairments, with resulting of some of those cancelled projects. But when it comes to the DTT, we're hoping very soon that our investments will be realised, in that also have issued tenders out at the end of last year. They closed on the 6th of January, and we've heard that we're one of the approved suppliers, as was reported in the press. So now we're just waiting to see the actual orders coming through and see what kind of size they are.
Wayne, of course, there's also another set of good news, and that's you forging ahead with satellite antennas as well as inverters. No doubt that's going to be driving some optimism, because that should be good for business.
Yes, it is. I mean, the loss of electricity for the country isn't very good, but we are benefiting from it. We sell the generators and inverter trolleys, which is basically a UPS for your home. The generators we're selling is predominantly in the consumer market, where it only goes up to 7.5 kVA, and the inverter trolley up to 1,200 watts. And that inverter trolley is manufactured by Engineering Works, and we've been backing to keep up with demand. Obviously, with the restriction on the amount of cash we have, we're supplying as much as we can, and if anything on the inverters, we're flying it in, because demand is outstripping supply by a long shot.
Wayne, thank you so much for making the time to join us. Of course, that is the CEO of Ellies.